The fault to go Scléip to Seid. This video series is going to be all about the little projects that I undertake in the shed here that aren't necessary to do with the Ferguson 20 diesel or the gold belly. It might just be going through nuts and bolts, sorting them out, painting up petrol cans, oil cans, plough spanners, some tasty little parts I've come across, trying to get them working, trying to get them fixed, or if I can't, at least displaying them. So turning the shed into Daz's Den, as the channel is called. So I'm going to try and keep it all together in a separate playlist, Scléip to Shed, and hopefully something I'm going to be able to add to continuously. So the weather this evening isn't the greatest there to be doing a bit of stonework, so I'm slowly going through some parts that I have, and I want to sort them out, clean them up, see what's what, and maybe find a place to hang them. Might have to hang another shelf or two. Now this ignition coil it's a bit of a time capsule really. It's most likely late 40s, could be earlier, mid 40s even. It's 6 volt and it's Lucas, and the number is all the numbers are under there. You can see, which way is it now? So it says BR and a 6 volt on it there, so a bit of solder there as well. It's oil filled and it has the acorn as well there. It's a long one, so it's longer than what's in the distributor cap, and unfortunately they're useless unless you run a 6 volt system. But what I'd like to find is someone that could put workings of a 12 volt one into it and get it working, because this would have been fitted to originally to the Ferguson 26 volt petrol engines, and I suppose a 12 volt version probably fitted to the later ones, but it would look really good on the gold belly. So I'd love to get it going. The bracket or the clamp on it there is actually kind of looks like spot welded on from factory. It's lovely, it's tall and it's narrow compared to modern ones, and it would look fantastic on any old engine if you could get the workings of it, the primary and secondary coil of a 12 volt, put it in there and wire it all up, solder it all up. It would be perfect, wouldn't it? I think it would look class, and you can actually still grey paint on it, so maybe it was used obviously in cars as well, like, but maybe this one did come from a Ferguson. So yeah, I'm just going to give it a bit of a clean up, get the numbers a bit clearer so I can make sure that it is actually from the late 1940s or mid 1940s, whatever. Try and establish a date based on that and the model number, and take out one or two of these screws and stuff and see if I can lift that off and have a look inside. Probably won't be able to, because it's probably sealed, but we'll try anyway. We'll have a play around with it, clean everything up, and then we'll get the multimeter over and we'll have a look and see if we can get any resistance across there. If it's 6 volts, there'll be probably 1.5 ohms would be what you'd be looking for. Another little interesting thing that I found as well, I don't know exactly how old it is, but it's kind of cool, is this 4.5 volt ever ready battery. So I just wanted to see if there's any power in it. Not that I'm going to be using it, but just for the fun of it. That's on 2 volts, so I'll turn it up to 20 because it's 4.5. 0.15 of the volts still left on it. So I'll do it, that is, I'll give it a quick clean, and I'm going to clear varnish it just to maintain it as it gets damp in here in the winter, and it's just going to look cool up on the shelves beside everything. The colours are nice as well. There's an American style, I think it is, coil here as well, Mapco Detroit Highway, and I'd say it's old enough by the looks of things. Oil cooled, I'd say. Well, we could check the resistance to that and see is that working. We've got an original Ferguson spanner here. The measurements there, the bottom, 1.16" for the, it was designed for the wheel nuts and for adjusting the front axle. So that's that. And then you have 11/16 then for adjusting your clutch, and all 11/16 would be, this is definitely used a good bit because you can see this is a bit wide, but it'll be for the likes of all of them there. For giving loads of 11/16 nuts and bolts on this, including all the ones on the side there, and if you wanted to adjust your clutch, you'll find that's 11/16 as well. Likes of him down there, all your clamps and your injectors as well. So this is going to be kept for the gold belly because I have two of them painted up here, so that's what they look like. Strange that they're an imperial spanner end, but they have centimeters there, and that was for use with the plough as well. A lot of your bolts, so that would be that size and that size. So I have another one there as well. So they're nice. I always keep an 11/16 in here for bleeding injectors in case they get airlocked. I have an old spanner in here. I don't really know exactly what it's from, but I know it's that end there seems to be 11/16, so I always keep one of them in there just in case it gets airlocked or something like that, that I can bleed the injectors. And that's a nice size. It's a nice handy size of spanner. So also have some other ones in here, so nice spanners. These are all going to get shot blasted. Got the Bamford's one, and we've one here. I'll have to clean that down and see what it says on it. I forget exactly what it says on it. There's something there. So there's also this as well. It seems to be a Lockheed. It seems to be some kind of an oil reservoir. I'm not 100% sure. It's fairly bad nick, so I suppose all you can do with that really is carefully wash it down with a soft paintbrush and WD-40 and clear varnish it, I suppose, and try and stop it from getting any worse. So maybe try and find a cap for it, take the bad look off it. I have some strange kind of caps here. I think that's off a Fordson tractor, Fordson N. You know, you could find something there, just, I don't know, does that look right? Like, you know, that will polish up because it's brass, let's say, of some kind. You know, you'd find something there just to make it look a little bit more complete. And this old horn as well. There's a set of points in these, and you can adjust the pitch, so you can have it low or high. So I must see if that's working as well. It might be nice to fit the 20 diesel. Clean it up, shot blast it up, paint that black. This is aluminium, so that'll polish up, clear varnish it. They are riveted, so you can drill them, but you have to go then and either replace them with nuts and bolts. If you know, that's possible as well. I did take one of these apart. I've one of them at home, and I did get it working on a Ferguson 20 TVO years ago, and it did sound really old-fashioned when you hit the horn. So they're just some little kind of we'll call them rainy day projects. That I'm not going to do a whole lot with because it's nice and original, and I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But these will all get primed and painted up. So I was just checking the resistance across the primary coil. So we were set there to ohms, the lowest reading, and it should be around about 1.5. I suppose it would help if we had the camera there. Sorry, had the multimeter somewhere you see it. So it should be around 1.5, 1.6. It's coming down there, yeah. You know, around is perfect. So it's good for on the primary side. We'll check the secondary now. Yeah, so I wasn't sure if that was working. It seems to be working. but it's no good, because what good is 6 volt? I don't know. Now, these Lucas coils here from my 1968 Triumph, and they work perfect as well. But the reason I took them out was they're 12 volt. I put in 6 volt, two 6 volt in series, and they reckon you get a better spark. So, but they're working perfect. So this is working. Now, usually what happened with these over time was people put a 12 volt battery in and fried them. So I'd love to get it working. I really, really would love to get that working and get it usable and get it on an engine. It would be really, really nice to be able to have that on your side of your engine instead of a modern, shiny coil, you know. I think it's the one part of your engine that stands out, you know. So look, I'm going to have to research to see is there anyone that can rewind these for 12 volt. That's what I need to do. Then I'd be able to use it, you know. Anyway, I'll have another quick look at it. I'm still looking up the numbers. It does seem to be mid to late 1940s, and that does tie in when the Ferguson 20s were 6 volt. It's not the exact one that was used on the Ferguson 20 now, I'm after finding out, but would have been around about that time anyway. So lovely, lovely, lovely part. Such a pity that 6 volt was 12 volt to be able to put it on the engine straight away, and instead of me sitting here with it in the vice, it would be on the engine, the gold belly, and it would be trying it for a start. Anyway, we'll clean it down a bit and see if we can get that off. I'd say it's not going to come off. I don't want to go breaking it, but I'll have a quick play around with it and see if that can lift up. If that can lift up and we can get the coils out, well, that's when I'd be researching whether I can get someone to maybe look into getting it working as a 12 volt. So I've given the battery just a quick one coat of clear varnish. That'll just stop that from getting damp and all that, because it is a kind of a paper. So this, I'm just giving a bit of a slight clean up with some WD-40. It's ideal for just cleaning the metal a little bit. Obviously it's all about the patina with this one. It's just an interesting little can. Very careful with the sticker, what's left on it. It's very hard to read it. Lockheed Automotive Fluid, manufactured under. So it's nearly just about illegible now. But regardless, it's a cool piece. Just want to get on top of the rust and then preserve it. Plenty of WD, Scotch Brite is just going to clean the metal enough. We'll let it dry overnight, and I'll come back to that tomorrow, and it'll just get good 2 coats of clear varnish, and we'll look into what sort of a cap we'll put on it that might make it look a little bit more complete. Definitely some form of an oil reservoir, I'd say, of some kind. So it's an interesting little piece to have on the shelf or on the wall. Definitely something, you know, people would be talking about and asking questions about. I like all this kind of stuff on the wall, because it all helps to create the kind of atmosphere I like in here. Kind of. So that's a little bit more cleaned up now. Let's just take the bad rust off it. Okay, brilliant. And we might put that on it there, just, you know, the threads of it, I suppose, but just for the time being, give that a bit of a clean up, since it nearly fits on it there. So that's another project. The horn, I put wires across it there. The horn isn't working, so some rainy day I'll drill out the rivets and replace them with bolts. Usually it's just a matter of cleaning the points there. I checked this Mapco coil and it seems to be working as well. It seems to be 6 volt because it's 1.5 ohms resistance across the primary coil. So I'll actually look up and see what that was used on. Made in Detroit, so I'd say definitely American. Good weight on it. I suppose what we can do in the meantime is give these a shot blast and get them primed at least. So we've 1, 2 and 3. So we'll have a look and see. That's a fairly old spanner, that one. So let's get them shot blasted anyway. Here are the spanners that are getting a bit of a shot blasting. I was told this is an old car spanner, not sure. I thought through shot blasting I might be able to see some names, or there's only a number on that. 2, 3, 5, 6 or something. That's Bamford's. And then this seems to have some writing towards the end. I thought I might have shown up a bit more this side, but it seems to be SOP or SGP or SCP. I can't see anything else there unless it's, I dare say it's worn off it. And I can't see anything on the other side. But still, they're all good age, and I'll paint up the letters on that Bamford a different colour to have it stand out. And that's going to be a rainy day kind of a job, so what I'll do now is I'll just prime them anyway so that will keep the rust off them. Repurposing these are actually for hanging curtains, curtain rails, so flatten them. I'm going to put up this little shelf just below the 2 manifolds there, and that'll give me a little bit more hanging space. Well, not display space, we'll call it. Ferguson spanner cleaned up lovely, just with a bit of WD-40. So that's the inches on the back, 3 and 6, and the metric then centimeters on the front. So that's how to clean up lovely. So that's just going to get clear varnished, simple as that. Just to keep the rust off it. I like the patina on it, and that's the way I want to keep it. That's going to be kept in the toolbox on the gold belly. There's a shelf up there now, and there's some of the parts on display. It's to be continued for the horn, because I'm going to shot blast that and take it apart some rainy day. Our spanners are shot blasted and primed, and our Ferguson spanner is after getting a coat of clear varnish. So we're making the most of a rainy evening. There's a conrod from my Triumph motorbike. The other one's around there somewhere. You can throw that up there. I may as well have the shelf full. So I'm going to keep sifting through my parts and see what else I'd like to display up there. Spanners are going to make their way onto this display here, but that's going to have to come down because I will be lifting this door up because it's too low. So I'll probably take them down, the 2 panels, and leave them down until, and along with them over there, so that we can get this door lifted. But that's just another day's work, but still it's nice to have them. So plenty of paints over here, the old Humbrol paints, so we'll be able to go through some nice colours for them. And slowly but surely we're getting the den turned into a nice kind of a vintage man cave. It's exactly what I want. I'm painting this Bamford spanner a nice bright blue, because looking up there and at the other spanners, I don't seem to have many in this colour. So I find these low paints are fantastic. Low makes very good rust primer as well, the iron oxide kind of rust primer. So it says that you don't actually need an undercoat with this at all, but to be hanging up there long enough, damp winters and all of that. So for the sake of putting a bit of undercoat on the night before and letting it dry, I find as well with this paint you can really load it on. Pretty good quality paint. It seems to self-level fairly well. So what I do is I do one side, leave it overnight, and it's 16 degrees in this shed at the moment, and it's anything but outside. It's actually fairly cold day today, so it's always warmer in here. So we'll let that dry. Not too fussed if I don't get everything here. I'll get it when I turn it over. It's more so just to get what's on this side painted, so that I can do the rest then the next time. And we'll do the letters then. I've got red, yellow, green, loads of colours in there, gold and copper kind of colours and all of that. So we'll pick something nice and bright. I'll look up at the other spanners and try and pick something different if I can. Lovely spanner, that plough spanner. And the other two then I'll go and pick out a colour for them. Maybe a nice looking up there, a nice bright yellow, or plenty of red. So yeah, maybe I will look for another colour for them. And the last one here, I forget, I must ask the man who got this off what the spanner was used for. It was a car of some kind. So there's some nice cast and detail on these, so I might, since there's no name on this one, there's SCP on that, or SGP. I don't think SCP, I'll have to research. Normally what I would do is I'd paint up any names in a different colour so it'll stand out. So what I might do with this one is, since the casting is interesting, I might paint in here a different colour, or I might paint around it a different colour, leave the green in there, but regardless I'm going to put a coat of green on it anyway, because I find it these do need two coats. So at least we get our green down on top of the undercoat, we'll get well on the way then for whatever other colours we want. It will be a nice base for it. I really think brush painting these is the best. Plenty of paint on them. When it's dry tomorrow, I'll turn it over and I'll do the other side. The number on this, 23666. That's all that's on this one. I have a Ford Model T wheel spanner over there, and they had Ford cast into it, so I painted the Ford in blue, Ford writing in blue. So, yeah, that's about it. Make sure everything on this side is done. We'll get the rest from the other side. These are kind of cool to have on the wall. Interesting. You just won't ever see this amount of material in a spanner ever again. They're all in chrome vanadium finished now. These are cast iron. And yes, they would have all worn and got a little bit wider. As you can see, some of them are fairly wide. I say they're all nearly widened. That one's widened as well. Cast iron probably wasn't the best material to use, best method to use, but it was definitely cheap. You make your mould in sand and pour in your molten metal then. Tinners, I use that drop of tinners to clean paint brushes. That's just white spirits in there. So there we go. We're getting there. And now I'm going to go and check on my Ferguson spanner. That was varnished yesterday evening. Take it out of the vise. And just where it was held in the vise now is to be done. So that's after turning out lovely. Should protect it. Just one more coat. I always do prefer to do two coats because you'll always miss some. So let's go and give this second coat of varnish. Might just put something up on it, anything at all, just to hold it up. I'll get another screwdriver maybe, or a file or anything like that. It's not going to make any difference if that has a bit of varnish on it. So that was the end that wasn't done. Again, I load this onto it. It's just to try and preserve a bit of patina on it. Whether it'll actually be used, I don't know. But they are handy, and if you were stuck and you had them in your toolbox, you'd be very surprised how much of the tractor you can actually take apart with this one spanner. Clear varnish is lovely to work with, it really does spread well. Perfect, so quick, it doesn't take long at all. So that's even enough just for the second coat, and we've given plenty there to that. And that was held in there under the vise as well, so we'll make sure there's plenty under there. And what I'll do is I'll turn it over then tomorrow, and we'll give it a other side its second coat, and that should be ready to go then. Because I've clear varnished a lot of these toolboxes, all the toolboxes there, the mow and bar toolboxes, they're all just polished up with a wire brush, and even varnished the handles on the old irons there. So that is brilliant. We're getting through the parts. I'm still researching the 6-volt coil to see if I can get someone to put to rewire it, rewind it, or to fit the workings of a 12-volt. So that's to be continued. And I have to just want to see how old that Mapco one is as well. I didn't get a chance to look that up. So yeah. So these, I'll continue with these after the paint is dried, and we'll try and get a few of the letters painted up on the Bamfords. I already have one over here. Actually, I have two, I think. So that's one of them there, and that's another one there, Bamfords, and that's an older one there. So we've plenty more space for them spanners maybe to hang them up there. Keep them all in the one place.